So Konami just released a brand new selection box, and unfortunately, despite how much I hate promoting selection boxes, if you're a Live Twin player, you're going to want to invest into this one. So Live Twin's been pretty notorious for just having basically no means to play through Disruption. Your opponent activates a single effect Veiler, and you are going to cry, outside of maybe activating that quick play spell card that locks you and forces you to discard. It didn't feel very good. Well, that is no longer the case. Now we have actual means of playing through Disruption without just preying on tech cards. We got two brand new extenders that have some fantastic effects when they're in the graveyard as well. And of course we got a brand new search spell that can search for both of them. Live Twin just got a hell of a lot stronger. So here's today's deck list. But before we get into the deck list, apparently 50% of people watching this aren't even subscribed to the channel. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content or see some more deck lists, more videos from me in the future, please do remember to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. So we're going to keep the deck list portion of this video incredibly short and sweet, considering you guys know what Live Twin does by now, you've seen it on the ladder a billion times. We're just going to talk about the brand new cards and what they mean for the deck. So to start with, we have your two brand new extenders. We have your Frost and we have your Treat. Both these cards have fairly similar effects in that they have a graveyard effect and they have a special summon effect depending on what Live Twin you have on the field. If you have a Lil-la on the field, you can special summon your Frost from your hand. If you have a copy of Ki-Sikil on the field, you can special summon your Treat from your hand. So if your opponent activates an effect Veiler, we now have two ways to essentially play through it depending on what Live Twin monster you have on the field, and if you draw one of your different search spells to search for the one you need. Additionally, they both have a graveyard effect. First of all, we have your Frost effect. This one is really good. If you control an Evil Twin monster, you can banish this from your graveyard whenever your opponent adds a card to their hand and draw a card from your deck. So just another way to just draw a free card as part of your standard combo. Because remember, these cards are also Ki-Sikil monsters, they're also Lil-la monsters, they can be summoned off of your Live Twins themselves. So your standard combo, normal summon Lil-la, special summon this from your deck, is now going to net you an additional card draw as well. Now unfortunately, your Lil-la, or your Treat, isn't quite as good in the graveyard. It does have an effect in grave, it's just not as relevant. Basically, whenever you do battle damage or you take battle damage involving a Evil Twin monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, the target one face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses attack equal to the battle damage basically you took or you dealt. So it can come up, but from my experience, it's generally better to keep this one in the deck and not use it as part of your combo, and just use this purely as an extender piece, because its graveyard effect it's just not that relevant compared to the Frost effect. And the final new addition to this deck list is of course Live Twin's Sunny Snitch. This card is essentially just a search spell card for the deck list that has a nice little bonus effect as well that grants you a shit ton of life points and burns your opponent for quite a bit as well. Basically, this card, when you activate it, adds a Live Twin monster from your deck to your hand. And what's so important about this effect is on top of just being a great search spell, it now gives us a proper target for a secret password to also search for monsters as well. This card can now search for an actual proper extender that isn't just searching for that spell card that discards a card and locks you. You don't need that anymore. We have a proper way to search for your actual monsters, and we have, two ways to do it. Also, of course, this card can still search for your spell and trap cards, so if you want to play multiple copies of Secret Password, I wouldn't even be against it. This card is a hell of a lot stronger now. Alright, additionally we have the burn effect and the gain of life points effect, which I thought was just not going to be super relevant, but after playing this and playtesting it quite a bit, it does do a significant amount of damage and heals you for a significant amount, especially considering Live Twin. It's not exactly an OTK sort of destroy your opponent in one turn sort of a deck. It generally takes quite a while to kill your opponent, and over multiple turns, they're doing multiple special summons, and this thing racks up quite a lot of damage and heals you for quite a bit. On top, of course, the Legend of the Heroes gaining you a shit ton of life points as well. This effect is super relevant. Basically, whenever your opponent does a special summon, whilst you control an Evil Twin monster, you gain 200 life points, and your opponent takes 100 points of damage. And this does really rack up. I can't sort of stress this enough. That feels really good. On top of gaining the shit ton of life points already, you gain an absurd amount of life points with this deck now. And that's basically going to do it for this deck list. Now, if you did want to go over 20 cards, you can 100% do so with this deck list. Just add more copies of Secret Password and more copies of your Sunny Snitch on top of the additional tech cards or additional extenders or whatever you're doing. Because this deck essentially just, if you have more Secret Password, you have more chances of drawing into your monsters, so you can definitely go over 20 with this if you want to play more of your starters, to have more tech cards and more options available to you. I just didn't really feel the need to, so I didn't bother, but if you want to play more extenders or more cards in your deck list, go right ahead. Just remember to actually keep the consistency up by adding more Secret Password as well. Otherwise, this is what I went with. It went really well on the ladder. I think I went 10 wins and 1 loss or something, so without further ado, let's go check out some gameplay showcasing what this deck can do. Alright, so like I said, I had a fairly decent spree with this deck list, going 10 wins for only 1 loss. With that 1 loss being, I think, a Shadow player that just super polyed my ass and left me with just 1 back row to defend myself, so it was a fairly unlucky game, but I felt this deck felt very, very strong. The only issues I found mostly, especially when I played some other variations of the deck before I added the alpha, is the Unchained matchup is basically unplayable. That shit feels awful. You're so reliant on your destruction effect looping with Lil-la, and you can't destroy Unchained cards, or they just summon more stuff, so Unchained seems like a very problematic matchup. Cards like your Alpha and your Ice Dragon's Prison definitely help with that, but otherwise, I think everything else, it felt fairly decent against, so let's check it out. See, I think in the current meta game, since Unchained is probably the strongest, at least in tournament meta, at least it's probably most popular too, yet this deck probably isn't very good for a tournament setting. On ladder, where there isn't as much Unchained, it's definitely fine. It's, yeah, as you can see, 10 wins, 1 loss, you'll do completely fine with it, so let's get into it. Alright, starting off against a Tachyon player, who was on a 6-game win streak. I've been seeing a ton of Tachyon players, actually. It's kind of weird. Normally when they do, like, unbanned lists and stuff, you don't see that many people pick up the decks that used to be banned. It's kind of rare. But people loved Tachyon, apparently, because I see it constantly. It's one of the most popular decks on ladder, honestly. Alright. Is this guy not got a prismatic version of this yet? We literally just got a thing where you can get a prismatic of this and he didn't grab it? Come on, man. What are you doing? Alright, passing it over. So he's gonna normal summon, use the effect. He's unfortunately gonna... Why would you... I actually had this happen a couple of times. Don't just compulse the live twins or crack down the live twin or something before it's, like, resolved. Otherwise, it's just going to summon the other live twin, which is then going to use its effect. So he just used both his back row for nothing there. I just saw a bunch of people do this, actually, on ladder. Passing with absolutely nothing, though. Unfortunate. Crackdown, though, going to be stealing his monster, forcing him to Dark Hole, of all things. Alright. And thankfully, I think he does a trade in here and didn't draw into any playable hand, because we had empty field, we were dead as hell. Right, Lil-la revive. As you'll see, we special summoned a copy of Ki-Sikil Frost from the deck. Like I said during the deck list portion, normally if you don't need to use this as an extension, you should just use it as part of your combo, because you're going to draw a card with it as part of your standard combo, and it feels really good. If you're using the other live twin though, I wouldn't recommend summoning that extender for its graveyard effect, because it's just not quite as good, so I'd just keep that in deck for an extender later on. It might be worth running 2 of these maybe, just so you have one as an extender and one as part of your standard combo. Or keep one as a potential extender. Alright. Lil-la gonna be slamming at Ki-Sikil, drawing a card, Legend of the Heroes, gain some life points. Making a Ki-Sikil before it passing the turn, send some back row, password searching a trap card, and hit him in the face. And yeah, he's just done so there. It's not the greatest replay, honestly, him just messing around, screwing up a little bit, but that was alright. Alright, up against, I think this one was actually a Blue Eyes player. Oh no, it wasn't a Blue Eyes player, it must be the next replay. Oh no, this guy was the mirror match. This is this guy was playing Unchained Live Twin, but he was also playing this, like the Xyz skill for some reason, so I don't know if he was just leveling the character or something, because I don't know why you play the Xyz skill with a Link deck, but anyway. Alright. So he's going to be, he went first, we're going second here. We did draw the Alpha, which is a big draw actually. Live Twin Special Summoning, making the Ki-Sikil. Gonna be drawing a card, or sorry, drawing a card now. Searching, popping the twin, putting himself on the field, and passing. I'm surprised he didn't like try to get this thing on the field by other means, like popping something else or something, just to get the other Link 2 on the field. I don't know why he wouldn't try to get the other Link 2 on the field, because he just linked this off with the other Live Twin, right? He could have 2 disruptions here. But maybe what felt the back row is more important or something? I don't know. Alright. So you can already see, by the way, how much burn damage he's doing with his thing and how much life points he's gaining. Because though Konami did nerf the burn damage, or halved it, they didn't nerf the life point gain, so you gain a ton of life points from it. He's drawing a card. Snitch going to be searching for my extension. Special summoning it. He's going to needle sealing me, which feels pretty bad. Did he destroy my... I didn't actually notice. Because I had to extend there for some reason, so he must have destroyed a card there. Oh yeah, he destroyed my thing there. So that's a good showing right there of just how you can extend with it. My opponent had disruption, I had a way to extend, and forced him to use another back row, which he used a needle sealing, so I don't even know that's even worse for him. I guess it does technically stop me for now. Although I do have a way to remove it with the beast. And pass him back. Thankfully his hand wasn't that good, so we could save the Ice Dragon's Prison for a special summon this turn. So I could actually just go straight for a Ki-Sikil. I didn't even need a normal summon there, because I got to steal an actual Life Twin card. Alright, special summoning, getting a card draw. Legend of the Heroes, now we can normal summon because we didn't use it. Beast-Mate the Unicorn, making sure to link these two up. This is a very common mistake I see with Life Twin. When you're using Knightmare Unicorn, try to link it up as much as possible, because it is going to give you a card draw when it uses its removal effect. This doesn't come up as much in other decks, but in this one, basically every single time you use Knightmare Unicorn, you can probably link it up in some way, so you get the additional card draw from it. So just remember, this thing does have a card draw if you link it when it uses its effect. Alright. So yeah, he's using this skill for some reason. I don't even know if he's playing any Xyz monsters in extra deck. We get Dark Hold, but I do have a Droplet, so I'm feeling pretty safe with 5,700 life points too. It's not likely he kills me here. Alright, Alpha going to be bouncing once again, setting the Crackdown and passing over. And then we draw a Live Twin, and then from there, unless he has a perfect back row, which I'm not going to destroy it because chances are it's an Unchained card. Because it has no activation prompt for it currently, so I'm assuming it's just like the popping Unchained card or something. We're not going to destroy it, not going to summon the thing from hand, we're just going to hit him in the face. Forgot about this card though, so he reduces my attack, so I couldn't actually do lethal damage. Funny, this thing actually works on your opponent's Live Twins as well. I just completely just... Yeah, I would never even have guessed it did that, but it works on your opponent's Live Twins apparently. Not that it really mattered. In this space, in this situation, I'm in a very comfortable position, so I don't think he's beating that field. Alright, fairly decent match though, a little back and forth. Let's check out the next one. I think that's something I like a lot about playing Live Twin, is because it's not much of like an OTK style deck. It's definitely one of those decks that gives you lots of turns of gameplay. It's not like a... Yeah, unlike some of the other decks that have released recently-ish, like Agent, where it's just sort of just set up a field, your opponent can't play through it, lose instantly sort of fields. This actually gets a good back and forth going, lots of interaction going on. Especially now that we can actually go second somewhat with this deck, because before it felt really bad. With things like Econ, and whatever else, you're pretty good to go. Alright, so unfortunately this would have been a fantastic example of how we can play through Effect Veiler, but I didn't draw a Live Twin, so I had to use my search for just a Live Twin, because I didn't open one. If I opened one, we could have played through this Effect Veiler. So unfortunate, it would have been a great replay to show it off, but at least we drew some disruption, so not completely out of it. Alright, and thankfully, he didn't draw Spirit of Light, which is a rare occurrence. I feel like every time I come against a Blue Eyes player, they always open it, so thank God, at least this time they didn't. Alright, Proxy's playing dog shit like this card for some reason. Alright, summons this card, I'm going to enemy controller. The reason we do this is because I won't have a monster on the field, so he can't chain the spell card if he had it, the Tribute Pop spell card. He can't chain it because I won't have a monster on the field. Then we're going to, I think I crack down this as well, or maybe I wait till after the turn. Oh no, I don't, that's right, he's sweet. I did not expect him to destroy his own monster. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm not going to stop you doing that, because I don't think he realized this goes back to his field. He just destroys his own monster, or maybe he wanted to do a 3,000 damage to me, who knows. Alright, Ultimate Fusion, I'm going to steal his monster, of course, so he doesn't get the pop effect from it. Alright, then I misplay here. I don't know why I used Alpha. I could have just normal summoned the Ki-Sikil and just done a Live Twin combo and just popped this thing that way. I don't think I needed to, Alpha. Yeah, because I already had Lethal in Graveyard, so I didn't actually need to, Yeah, slight mistake here. I should have kept Alpha on the field. I could have done lethal damage this turn. There was absolutely no reason to get rid of the Alpha, because I could just popped it with the Lil-la. Left the Piercing on the field. I think Piercing has no effect without a Blue Eyes on field or something. Gain back some life points. Hit him in the face and passing. And thankfully I think he bricked a bit here. Actually, did I already summon this or something? I didn't summon it to pop the card there, so maybe I did. Now I'm talking out my ass. And I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have... Yeah, I didn't want to have it in the battle phase. Anyway, hit him in the face with the Unchained monster. Another actually significant buff for this deck. You get to summon this thing quite a bit with this deck now. Especially as the turns go on. As soon as you reach like turn 2 and onward, or your second turn, you can quite easily get the Unchained Abomination out. Just with 2 live twins, or a live twin and or your Knightmare Unicorn and a live twin or whatever else. Pretty easy to do, especially with Crackdown as well. All right, up against the I forgot the name of this deck, the Sacred Beasts. Sacred Beasts are a little bit scary because they do have a ton of hand traps, but only really effect Veil is the annoying one. A lot of people are currently playing that anti-graveyard hand trap, which is only good at stopping me from getting a card draw, so it's pretty irrelevant. So, alright, summoning out the Lil-la, getting myself a draw. Gaining some life points, setting the econ, and passing the turn. Alright, so not the greatest field here. Drawing 2 of these is not ideal, especially going first. The reason we don't play 3 of this, because we really don't want to see multiple of this. You've already got enough monsters in this deck without seeing a shit ton of this card as well. Alright, tries to use the Frost, unfortunately. He has a Skullmeister, like I mentioned earlier. Not that bad, though. It's not like we have any hand traps to draw into in this list. Beckoning Beast, I'm going to pop that card. He's going to revive it, I'm going to crack down it. Whole point is, I just don't want to leave this thing on the field, because if it's on the field, he can't summon the thing from hand. Alright. So we have got a 0 attack monster on field, which is a little bit scary, a 4000 attack monster. But thankfully, we've used our skills, so we've got plenty of life points to spare. And there's your Hammond. Alright, from here we're pretty good. Actually, got very low. Alpha going to be doing a bit of bouncing. I completely forgot about this card's effect. I could 100% just remove this thing first very easily, so slight mistake here. But I reckon with what we've got and what he's got left, we're probably in a very good spot regardless. Free card draw from the Unicorn, of course. Free card draw from this card. Generating so much advantage. Now there's the Unchained Abomination, like I mentioned earlier. Popping another card because we popped something. There's actually some rare hands going first, where you can actually end on Abomination and your Live Twin setup. It's pretty rare though, so I don't see it very often, but can be done. Alright, yeah, he can't do shit here. He's already used both his skills, so absolutely nothing he can do here. Alright, final 2 replays. I did forget who these 2 were against. I think the last one was a Fluid player, and this one I'm not sure. A skillless player. Okay. Right, Shiranui player with... Oh, it's just not showing the... Oh, it didn't show skills in replays. I thought it did. Anyway. Let's show the skill icon, but anyway. Up against Shiranui. Pretty good hands. Don't really want to draw this going first, but we've got 2 other back rows. Can't really complain. Drawing some cards, hitting a potential extension if we need it. He's got no hand traps there, so we're good to go. Still going to activate it though, because like I said during the decklist portion, the damage from this thing and special summoning actually really does rack up, and it heals you a bunch, so makes it very hard to die at least. Alright, can be reviving before I can pop my card. It also makes a normal summon as well, I don't know if I mentioned that. Gonna Droplet his monster, of course, don't want that to be summon anything, getting a free card draw as well. The amount of card draw this deck does, man, it's actually so insane currently. Unfortunately, I don't think he adds any cards to hand, so I don't get any card draws off my Frost. Lil-la reviving, Ki-Sikil getting another card draw. Alpha going to be returning that card to the extra deck. Making the Knightmare, getting another... Look how many cards I've drawn with this deck, by the way. I've drawn so many. Drawn multiple off of your Ki-Sikil, drawn off my Knightmare, Could have drawn off my Frost, my opponent added a card to hand, but didn't actually hit anything. Get Effect Veiler, don't care, we're going to summon something back, pop his card, and yeah, he concedes. This deck generates so much advantage now, it's so insane. Alright, well, I guess it was already generating that much advantage before, just without the Frost. Alright, up against Sherry LeBlanc. Alright. Haruku... I have no idea what that word means. That's just a name, isn't it? Haruku... I don't know. Alright. We're going to do special summoning back, getting a card draw, gaining some life points. Alright, Tristana Candy. This is a little bit scary because, of course, the field spell can stop me using Droplet now, and we have drawn a pretty shitty hand of just all monsters, so it's a little bit sketch, but hopefully get a card draw off this. Let's get Skullmeistered, great. Alright, he's going to swap it over, going to be then going for a Trishula, I believe. I'm not sure if this is the best play he had available to him, but he went for a Trishula. I forgot this card was... At least I thought this card was the banish from... Yeah, I got the two Trishulas mixed up. I thought this one was going to banish from my hand, graveyard, and field. So I summoned back here, which was dumb, because I just lose a card for free. Yeah, I should have done this. I thought it was the other Trishula effect, because I'm stupid. Alright, normal summoning. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Tachyon player and his other effects. He's on Compulse. This guy Crackdown me when I was using this thing's effect, so it just summons the other effects. I don't know why you would use the Crackdown so early there, but anyway. Summoning the Lil-la. Lil-la gonna be summoning back, getting a card draw. It was actually such a mistake from Match. It's absurd how bad of a mistake that was. Unicorn drawing, it's putting it back in the hand, popping another card. Searching. These two can now become the Unchained Monster, got the trap card as well. And he is very dead here. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you want to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. New box coming out fairly soon, so expect a potential bunch of videos on that from me as well. Still be continuing my story series as well, for those that are waiting for another episode of that. It just, that takes a lot longer to make, especially when I've got Duel Links content to make as well, so look forward to that as well. Thank you guys for watching, hope you see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.